full steam train with an unknown number of bodies has been entombed under historic Church Hill. The story unfolded during the height of the locomotive heyday. Big rail business had ebbed and flowed, and it wasn't a small undertaking to carve a tunnel through Church Hill. The tunnel took nearly 2 years to build and claimed a dozen or more lives from multiple cave-ins. After operating for nearly 30 years, the tunnel originally closed in 1902. Just 23 years later, increased demand in railway traffic prompted the Chesapeake and Ohio systems to reopen the tunnel. But the tunnel needed to be bigger. So C&O hired more than 200 workers to complete the tunnel expansion. New construction on the tunnel was underway. But on October 2nd, tragedy struck, and the tunnel was then sealed forever. Engineer Thomas Mason brought in flat cars for workers to use as a platform to reach the high walls and ceilings. The ceiling began to give way, and the tunnel collapsed. Many workers were able to run to safety or crawl under the flatbed cars to daylight. But the engineer and 2 of the laborers weren't so lucky. Engineer Mason wasn't able to escape from his locomotive. He died when the train's boiler exploded. Fireman Benjamin Mosby was tending the boiler at the time of the collapse. He managed to find his way through all the bricks and earth, but later died from his injuries. The third known fatality was Richard Lewis, who was never found. Those are the only known casualties. In 1926, the tunnel was filled with sand and sealed at both ends and closed forever. One urban legend says that some nights you can hear the faint whistle of an old locomotive and shouts from workers trying to flee to safety. Others say they can hear chipping noises, much like workers picking away at the bricks from inside the tunnel. Some witnesses even report seeing a man trying to get in the tunnel to reach his train to save the trapped workers. The Church Hill Tunnel is a stop on the tour of one spooktacular Richmond business. Located in historic Shockoe Bottom, Haunts of Richmond invite you to join them for a tour, or they'll even roll out the not-so-welcome mat for the ghouls and boys at their haunted widow's house.
They come in because they're looking for that adrenaline rush, that fun scare, and it is very scary. So what we do, it's topical. It's a little creepier because all the stuff happened around here, and a lot of people know the places we're talking about.
If being scared out of your wits is your cup of tea, then don't miss the darkly themed Widow's House.
The Widow's House is our haunted house attraction, and it's unlike any other haunted house that you go through, because not only do you get the thrills of a haunted house like you go through that you traditionally think of at Halloween, but you also get the chills of knowing that the stories that you're seeing and the events that are taking place in front of you are things that actually happened here in Richmond.